Now, new at 10, details emerging from the officer-involved shooting outside the Galleria Saturday. Tonight, we're getting more of a timeline of the events that led officers to chase and ultimately shoot Terry Tillman, a convicted felon illegally armed at the mall. We have team coverage tonight with Ashley Lincoln and Kim St. Ange.
We'll start with Ashley live at County Police Headquarters as the investigation grows. Ashley, there is a mound of evidence to go through.
That's right, Courtney. Police tell us they do have a daunting task against them. They have to go through more than 100 surveillance cameras that they hope will show what happened before Tillman was shot.
There are no more incidents that come under greater scrutiny than a police officer using deadly force.
That's why St. Louis County Police say their investigation into last Saturday's shooting will be tedious and thorough.
This investigation remains very active.
Sergeant Ben Granda says his department is investigating the case independently after a Richmond Heights officer shot and killed Terry Tillman.
Those gentlemen saw Mr. Tillman walking through the mall, and they saw what they believed to be a magazine, an extended magazine protruding from his waistband.
Granda says 2 officers confronted Tillman in the mall. He says both officers were in uniform, one with Richmond Heights and the other an Overland officer working security for the mall.
There were no plainclothes officers involved.
Police say Tillman took off running, triggering a foot chase throughout the mall that ended here at the bank parking garage across from the Galleria. Investigators now say, according to interviews from the officers on scene, Tillman raised his gun before another Richmond Heights officer fired 7 rounds.
Mr. Tillman did not discharge his firearm.
Police say an autopsy shows Tillman was shot 3 to 5 times. All of his injuries are said to be to the front of his body. Granda says now comes the tedious part of this investigation, going through 158 cameras at the Galleria, which police have requested 1 hour from each camera. While so many questions remain unanswered to Saturday's incident, Granda says with so many mass shootings in America, the officers couldn't afford to ignore what they saw.
It's 2019. Any reasonable person that sees an extended magazine protruding from someone, especially in a law enforcement capacity, has an obligation to contact that individual and investigate. I'll give you a couple days to turn on your evening news, look nationally, and see if we have any mass shootings. There is no way that we cannot not address that person. Those signs are posted on every door into that establishment. Mr. Tillman was contacted by those officers. I wish that they would have explained the policy again to him, and then he would have parted ways and come back to Dunn and to have completed his shopping on a different date or time when he was not armed.
Now, police say they're still waiting to speak with those who might have been with Tillman at the mall. Again, they did tell us that he was a convicted felon that should have not been in possession of that weapon, and weapons are banned from the mall. Now, we did want to know about that surveillance camera, when and if that will be released to the public. Police tell us right now they are not releasing any images at this time while this investigation is ongoing. They do tell us once this investigation wraps up, they will hand this case over to the prosecuting attorney's office, who will consider filing charges if that's necessary in this case. Reporting live in Clayton, Ashley Lincoln, News 4.
All right, Ashley, tonight we are hearing a much different version of the same story from Terry Tillman's sister, who believes police murdered an innocent man. News 4's Kim St. Ange just talked with his family, and she's live where it happened Saturday.
Police say Tillman ran from the Galleria across the street over to this parking garage where the Richmond Heights police officer shot and killed him. And as you heard police say, Tillman raised a gun at the officer, though Tillman's sister tonight tells me she believes he was actually turning around to surrender when the officer pulled the trigger. I asked Tillman's sister tonight, Rachel Jones, I said, why would he run from police when they initially approached him inside the Galleria about having a gun? Well, she says that he was scared and that's why he ran. I also asked her why he had a gun with him in the mall when there are signs that say you can't. She says he didn't realize you can't bring guns inside, calling him a victim of not knowing.
We live in St. Louis, Missouri. People die, kids die, women die, families die every day. They said he had a criminal record, which means he has not always been the best person, which means he carried that for protection. No matter it was 15, 30, 25, 100 bullets. That was strictly for protection.
Jones says their family has not been able to see Tillman's body or heard any information about an autopsy. She believes that information, when they get it, will prove police are lying. Live in Richmond Heights, Kim St. Ange, News 4.